All right, race fans, it's race number 3 of the Monticello Motor Club Esports Sim Challenge coming to you live from WeatherTech Raceway in Laguna Seca, Northern California. We've got perfect weather as always in a sim race, and I'm here in the booth with my good friend, colleague, and driving instructor extraordinaire from Monticello, Josh Green. Josh, are you excited for some really great racing action tonight?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. I love this circuit. It's nice cold temperatures. People are setting the fastest laps. I'm really excited to see how the racing turns out tonight.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, qualification's wrapping up right now. We've got just a few minutes left before we go green on the first race, first of two races tonight. And Zach Ehrlich is at the top of the board right now. He has been the man to beat through the first two rounds of this series, and he looks to maintain his dominance. We have, a lot of guys out there trying to put up good numbers. Fosnock and Bartholomew are looking good as well. But Zach Ehrlich is the class of the field so far.
You're absolutely right. Zach, I mean, through all these events so far, when it comes to the members, has been kind of cleaning house. Whenever he does finish a race without incident, he always finishes in the front. And he seems to be quite consistent every event. One thing that we see often at Laguna Seca, just through my past in sim racing, it's very easy to get what's called off tracks in this service, where if you drop a tire off, you get sort of a little alert on your screen, and then you lose your best lap in qualifying. And this is currently happening with a couple drivers that you see haven't put laps up. Ian Barthelmes is one to mention, Manny Tartaglione, and Vincent Sperano, all sort of still stuck at the back. Sector times actually look really strong from the three of them, but none of them with a lap on the board yet, just because of the off tracks.
Right. You drop a wheel and you lose that lap. It's, but I mean, you've got guys. Lynn Wilson also. Lynn Wilson out tonight. Justin Firmino. Nick Monos working with. Fun fact about Nick Monos: he's working with a brand new rebuilt pedal box. So I told him we're gonna be watching his braking zones tonight, Josh. See if he misses any braking zones. We might have to blame it on that rebuilt pedal box. He's been working on it all day today.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, sim equipment can often be very finicky. So, but a lot of
Right.
these sims are pretty cool. I know a couple people have like real hydraulic brake pedals in their sims, which I could only dream of, but it's so cool when you get the opportunity to use one of those very advanced sims.
Ooh, Jason Cohen with an off right there.
That was solid.
Missed. Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's one of the beauties of sim racing. I tell you, it's really easy just to respawn and try again.
A lot less
Here's Nick
expensive than the
Monos out
real
of.
life stuff.
It really is, and a lot less dangerous too. Nick Monos out of New Jersey in the driven MX-5 here. Let's see if he's trying to put down a good number now, following one of the faster cars on track right there. Also with I think that's Frank McLennan right in front of him. Yep.
Frank McLennan. Zach's still P1. He's got that 37.422 on the board. It's looking like his biggest gap to the field is in sector 4, those final couple corners dropping down through the corkscrew all the way to start finish. So, just finishing up qualifying there, we have Zach Ehrlich on pole with Matthew Fosnot on on the front row with him. Paul Barthelmes in P3, followed by Lynn Wilson in fourth. Frank McLennan, Justin Firmino, Manny Tartaglione in seventh, followed by Vincent Sperano, Nick Monos, Jason Cohen, Paul Levine, and then we get into the instructors back there. So it's going to be very interesting to see them. Trent Walko going P1 in the practice session. He's always very, very quick in these cars and really in any cars in the service. So it'll be exciting to see him try and close up to the guys in the front.
Yeah, Brian Hedian right there, second place behind Trenton in the instructor class. This is really a track for Hedian. Hedian looks to put up a good showing tonight as well. He really wants to kind of punch back a little bit at Trent Walco and not let him have all the glory on the instructor podium. So we'll see if Hedian's got anything for him tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Hedian's been really quick. He was super quick in testing in our session yesterday, as well as the session before qualifying today. So it'll be interesting to see the two of them come through the field. But if I'm honest, I've seen Trent work the field really, really well in the past. He's quite good at getting all the way up to the front. We have the lights come on up there, but all we're going to have is the safety car get going, and we'll see the cars come to the green next time by.
I'm ready. Safety car's rolling out. This is going to be awesome.
Safety
Ehrlich on the
truck.
pole. Yeah, you're right. Safety truck. Holy crap. It's a brave new world out there, Josh. Uh, Ehrlich rolling off on the pole, closing up behind the Chevrolet Silverado safety truck. And next time by will be green flag racing, ladies and gentlemen.
That is for sure. You see the cars weaving back and forth. Now, fun fact in real life, that weaving generally doesn't do nearly enough to get the tire up to temperature. Often you'll see the cars driving heavy on throttle and then heavy on the brakes to try and generate heat from the brakes all the way out into the tire. The most important part is that core temperature in the tire that you really can't get just by scrubbing left and right. So, that isn't really true in iRacing. For the most part, in iRacing, you can generate enough temperature just by weaving, and you don't get silly things like marbles and scarring of the outsides of the tire.
It's quite a bit of weaving there, Zach Ehrlich is putting in. I mean, I would even say, you know, a little slip angle there out of the pole sitter, but yeah.
It is.
You guys tune in. You tune in to hear Josh Green tell you the secrets of the trade, like actually brake temperature. Using your brakes is better to generate inside tire temperature than scrubbing rubber. But that's awesome, Josh.
Yeah, and it's also a very dirty track here. I mean, you can see sort of the dust and sand getting blown onto the track all over the place, as well as whenever someone goes off, they drag it onto the circuit. So it does, in this game, it does very much, sorry, in this sim, it does very much actually cause an issue with the circuit. Whenever someone drags dirt on, there is a noticeable change in grip. So, yeah, well, that'll play an
Yeah,
effect,
early on.
especially exit of turn 4 tends to get quite bad.
Corkscrew as well. Corkscrew was covered up in sand during the practice earlier this evening. I'm sure our track workers have got it cleaned up, but we'll see if it stays that clean as this race unfolds.
So here we go. We are packed up and paired up, getting ready to take the green. I'm very excited to see what we get here into turn 1. Will Zach get the jump? That's the real question. We see him hanging onto the brake there, waiting for our man to throw the green. And it looks like
That's
we're going in the
wrong.
back there. Green flags. He goes defensive. Not a very good jump there from Zach. He's getting pushed. He's going to be under pressure here into turn 1.
Absolutely. Matthew Fosnock on the outside, headed down to turn 1.
Zach down to the white
Early
line. He looks clear.
clean.
Brian off to the inside. Oh, that did not look
Ian
like
on
it
the
ended
pit
very
lane.
well.
No, it
Big
did
slide
not.
back there. Brian looking like, or Zach Ehrlich looking like he's coming out to a bit of a lead here. He's got 2 cars behind to Paul Barthelme's. Bit of a gap. Oh, there's a yellow car back there that's spun. Looks like Firmino dropping down the grid. Ben Albano getting all the way to the front of the instructors up to P7. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think this has been Albano's first race in the Esports Monticello League this year, and that's certainly a great way to get his career started here in race 3.
Oh, and commentator's curse, he is dropping down the field down to 11th. That's rough.
That's
Trent,
what
though.
happens, man.
Trent assumes that position, 4.4 seconds back, and Zach has pulled 1.2 seconds to Paul Barthelme's. Extremely strong. Yeah, getting that gap is honestly quite impressive. And honestly, one thing that you really see that sets apart the guys who are really good to the guys that are pretty good is, oh, what's going on here? Oh, did Zach get a slowdown? Zach got a slowdown in the chicane. That's unfortunate.
Interesting.
So Zach with a slowdown penalty for cutting the chicane, letting the 2 cars ahead by. This is going to open the door for Barthelmes or Fasanat to go take the lead. As well as it's going to bring the instructors back in the fight, right? What Zach really needed to do was to check out there on those first couple laps, and he started to, but it looks like he's just ruined his chances.
Yeah, not good. The Dunkin' Donuts car of Paul Barthelme is out front. Matthew Fosnock in second place with Zach Ehrlich in third. So we now have a whole new leaderboard at the top of the podium. And you've got Zach Ehrlich working hard to try to get back in this race from third place.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a look down the field, it looks like Trent is still our biggest mover. Dylan equaling him, both 6 spots up. No, Nick Leone up to P12, 7 spots up from his starting position of 19th. So that's quite good.
Yeah, and Hedian's still underway, which is a good sign for him, right after having crossed off the track through the pit lane. Hedian's still under power. So, you know, it's Positive development for Brian Hedian Racing that he's even still in this race and not DNF right now.
Absolutely. Zach Ehrlich already back up to P2. He has got the pace, and he's going to hunt down Paul here quite quick, I would expect. He's done a great job closing that gap up, and we saw back there Fasanat dropped a tire a bit earlier in the lap, which definitely helped him close up. The toe is also going to play a big factor here at Laguna Seca. We have two fairly long straightaways, and it's very, very cold out, so it'll help the motors run nice and quick.
Yeah, speaking of the toe, you were talking earlier about your own experience with Trent Walco. You know, he got some great toes from you earlier in the season, race number 1 at Watkins Glen. I think Trent's ability to work traffic and time his passing and traffic management, as well as the toe assist he got, really helped him perform well working with you at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, absolutely. The two of us work together very well to get to the front, and obviously, you know, that's something you learn from a lot of years' experience in racing. You work together to get to the front, and then at the end, you let that fight happen. But it does look like Trent may have had an off here. He's back to P8. He's lost a whole bunch of time, 10 seconds behind the lead right now. Dylan is currently our closest driver to P1 when it comes to instructors at P6.
He's 6, and he's up 8 spots from where he started. As Ehrlich inside of Bartholomew's and takes the pass for the lead. Ehrlich is back out front in front of the mighty Dunkin' Donuts car. Zach Ehrlich, just an unstoppable force in these MX-5s.
He is hauling. He was nearly a second quicker than Paul Barthelme's last lap. His sector times, he's lighting up the board with purple sectors. I mean, I expect to see him check out here.
Yeah, he's sitting on a 137.2. His best lap time is almost a full second better than second place right now, as you said.
Yeah, I expect to see him start to chug away here. I mean, look, he's been a force so far at Watkins Glen. It was a lot easier to hold on with that toe, and we don't have nearly as much of it here. So if he's really good on his exits this lap and he gets a good run to the front straightaway here and sort of breaks that toe, I think he'll pull away on the infield.
Paul is definitely trying hard, though, to stay in contact with Zach. Definitely trying to keep that toe going, and right now, doing a pretty great job of it.
There he is, to the inside. Does he get it stopped up? He does. Yeah, there you go. That's clean. Right back by.
Great move. Great, clean move. You know, Paul Bartholomew's has been coached effectively by Monticello instructors for years now at the club, and you know, in real life driving as well as his sim driving, his racecraft has really improved over the past 18 months.
Can't agree more. Absolutely. And to be totally honest, that was a really solid move, but I would have expected Zach to have defended there. I really feel like he has the pace to get away in the infield if he were to sort of be a bit more aggressive keeping that position up front.
I agree. I'm surprised Zach didn't defend to the inside a little bit better, but you see Zach is right up in his chimney. Zach is already sizing him up for a move to get back to first, while Matthew Fosnock just hanging on back there in third place, watching all the action.
Yeah, he's smart there, going on into the corkscrew, sort of taking a lift off, making sure to open the gap, gets a really good exit. I don't think he'll have a look here because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He'll chill until the front straight to get that move done. It's going to be really important that what he does, whenever he does make that move, he makes it in a way that upsets Paul enough that potentially Matt could get to the back of him and even make an overtake. If he can get the two of them to battle, he'll absolutely check out.
Absolutely. And you notice also, how about this great camera work from our producer, Demetria Crawford, really coming through clutch with these replays and camera angles. Look at this excitement right here. Zach Ehrlich all over that Dunkin' Donuts car. Paul has got his hands full at P1.
Lay it on the brakes. Paul's good around the outside. That was a really good move. See exactly what he needed to do. He got Matt right to the side of Paul. Ooh, but Matt lets him have it. See, that's not super fortunate for Zach.
No, and Paul Bartholomew's basically just getting repaid by... So Paul makes the pass in that corner one lap, and the very next lap, Zach repays him in the same way with the same pass on the same corner.
Absolutely. Why don't we take a look back here to P6, Trenton Walco. He just got by Manny Tartaglione. He's on a bit of a tear of his own, working his way back up to the field. Currently a 37.7, his best lap. The only car in the 37s compared to the front pack. Actually, that's a lie. Brian Hedian 2 positions back at 37.34, just as fast as the leaders. So we can see him start to chug away and maybe get to the back of those lead cars.
Yeah, Dylan Murcott's still leading the instructor class, up 9 positions to P5, but Trent Walco looking to close up on him now. And Trent has actually just much better sector times and overall lap speed. I would expect to see that Bucky's car right up behind the pink number 69 of Dylan Murcott here in a few more laps.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But if you look at the front of that Bucky's car, it definitely has seen better days.
Yeah, it has.
It's kind of winking at us here. One eye's a little closed on the left there. Yeah. But I do expect Trent to close up. I mean, now that he's in clean air, he's definitely been fighting in traffic all the way up. So I expect him to sort of start to close the gap down, start to put in those really strong lap times that we usually expect from him, pending that damage isn't too bad. But he's got clear track ahead. Let's watch him chug his way up. We can go back to the front where Paul and Zach are still fighting it out, just 2/10 between them, and the lap times are almost identical. 37.7 that time last time by from Zach, with a 38.0 from Paul just behind.
I'm happy to see Paul kind of fighting back here. You know, Zach has been at the top of the podium for race 1 and race 2, and it's good to see Zach being pushed a little bit by another driver. Paul really giving him the business here early in race number 1.
Absolutely, and
6 laps.
if you remember back to our trip to Watkins Glen, Paul was right there throughout the entire event. He had a bit of a mishap in the first race that sort of set him back, but in the second race, he was there fighting with me and Trent the entire time. So I absolutely expect to see him stay there up until the end of the race. You know, I think we may have overestimated and been a little bit optimistic about the pace of Zach so far, and Paul might be able to hang on to the back, as with Matt.
Yeah, these 3 cars here have really broken away and set the class here from the rest of the field. You got Frank McLennan running there in 4th, and then Dylan Murcott running P5 at the front of the instructor class. But these 3 cars, Ehrlich, Paul Bartholomew's, and the Dunkin' Donuts car, and Matt Fosnock, really looking good at the front of this race. We're reaching the halfway point. We're about 10 minutes in, 10 minutes to go, and we're on lap number 7 with about 7 minutes to go.
Let's take a look back at Brian Hidian here. As you know, his pace has been quite strong. He goes to the inside. He's clear of Manny. Manny looks like he may have just given that to him, given the pace difference. You know, it sometimes can be beneficial to give up positions. You know, if you're being chased down by a much faster car, you never know what that car could go up in front and sort of rustle some feathers, and maybe the positions will come back to you. And a big off there by Brian. Wow.
Big offs. It's kind of a Brian Hedian. It's kind of a Brian Hedian trademark move.
Hey, he paid for all the track. You got to use all the track.
Exactly. I say in the Let's go back to this Nick Leone and Ben Albano. We've got 2 instructors. Ben Albano running P10, Nick Leone in P9, and Ben Albano just painting the rear bumper of that Leone car, looking to get around him. Leone's up 10 spots to P9, but Ben Albano in that blue and red is really closing up tight on Nick Leone. Let's see if this work by Albano can pay off here.
Absolutely, and their pace is very, very similar. 138.6 for Ben from a 138.4 from Nick. So they're very close in pace, and I expect to see a very good fight between them. Very clean fight. Both of them have experience driving in MX5 Cup cars in real life. Not necessarily this car in specific, but they've both raced in the NC MX5 Cup car. So both lots of experience driving very similar cars with similar power to weight ratios as these.
Albano getting the toe down the straightaway there.
Absolutely, but I don't think he's going to be close enough here for turn 1 unless he does something real big, which I wouldn't put it past Ben. No, but that was smart. Very chill.
There's too much time left in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach seems to start to check out, but every lap that he does that's significantly better than the car behind, then Paul comes back and matches him. Last time by, Matt was the fastest car on track at a 37.5. But Zach Ehrlich still holds that fastest lap of the race at a 37.2.
Yep, 37.273 is the purple lap right now out of Zach Ehrlich.
Well, actually,
Trent still working.
Trent just did a 36.7, but he dropped a tire, so it doesn't count for the fastest lap. But he is on a mission. Bucky's car is coming.
The bucktooth beaver.
The
Trent
bucktooth
Walco
beaver.
moving up through. Trent Walco moving up through the pack, really trying to close up now. He wants to get close to, he's getting within striking distance of Dylan Murcott. Murcott definitely sees that Bucky's car in his mirrors now.
I'd be sweating if I were him, that's for sure. He did a 38.0 last time by with Trent's 36.7 last lap. That's 1.3 seconds of gap that he ate away at in a singular lap. So he's going to be there ASAP.
You know, it's amazing, Josh, how quick these races go. These 20-minute feature races, we're already down. We've already done 9 laps, only about 6.5 minutes to go. These drivers need to start thinking about end-of-race moves here. If they're going to be fighting for position, it's the time to start thinking about making that move is getting really close.
Absolutely. Let's go back to Ben Albano and Nick Leone. That fight's getting real close within 0.2. You see a little bit defensive there from Nick, but not just enough. At the front, we still have Paul chasing down Zach last lap by about 2.5 tenths. I think he'll be able to get there if him and Matt work together, but you never know. I mean, obviously, you're fighting over those last 2 positions on the podium. You're going to want whatever points you can get, especially for Matt having not finished on the podium just yet this season.
Yeah, I mean, Paul is only 0.6 back, but he can't quite get enough to make a run at Ehrlich with the setup he's got right now. But it is very exciting racing as these guys head down through the corkscrew for the 10th time in this first race, with about 5.5 minutes left to go.
Yep, 5.5 minutes left to go. They'll have just about 5 minutes at the line, so we'll see a little dash to the end here. I do think that Paul can get up to the back of him if he works real hard. Obviously, it's quite hard to lead races in these cars. With the toe being so good, you have to be very, very careful with how you place your car, especially with Zach having already gotten a slowdown penalty this race.
So you go back to that. Let's look at Trent Walco. He is closing the gap on Dylan Murcott and now is within striking distance of Dylan. He's only 0.2 back and is looking inside as they come down past pit lane, looking to turn number 1.
Look,
Murcott
as we know,
trying to defend on the inside.
Dylan can get quite aggressive these days, so I'm sure Trent is going to be very careful. He wants those points, and Dylan currently leads the Instructor Championship. Trent has obviously missed 2 rounds, but Dylan still leading that championship regardless of drop rounds, so it's very important for Trent to try and get this position off him.
No doubt about it. This is the race to watch right here.
For sure. Given the pace difference as well, you would expect Trent to be able to get the job done quite quick, but Dylan is a stout competitor, and I mean, when it comes to car placement, he's going to be one of the harder ones to pass.
Yeah, he has very sharp elbows.
That's for sure. Absolutely. And that Bucky's car definitely looks like it's seen some other people's elbows so far, so he's not going to want any more elbows in its face. Poor thing. It does look like, unfortunately, Zach seems to be pulling that gap out just enough. We'll stay on this Trent and Dylan battle, but yeah, just crossed that 1 second boundary. Yeah, and Zach also setting his fastest lap last lap at a 37.1. So, you know, the cars behind, it's very impressive what Zach's doing right now, and it's one of the harder things to do in racing, where you just have to put those laps together, right? He's not building a gap by 5, 6, 7 tenths a lap. He's building a gap by 1/10, 2 tenths every single lap. But just that consistency, 1/10 every lap, it builds out to a second across a whole race. And down to the bottom goes Trent, side by side, but I think Trent will be clear on the way in here.
He should have this done here into turn number 1.
Yeah, absolutely nice and clean. Gets the car stopped up, and he makes the second apex. That's really the golden sign here. If the car that makes the overtake makes the second apex through there, then there's no way you're going to get them back on the exit.
And, you know, surprisingly, very clean racing there. Dylan kind of, you know, Dylan racing him clean, but not overly aggressive out of Murcott.
No, absolutely not. But also, it is really hard to fight a car that's that much quicker than you, right? If Trent's going to be 1.2, 1.3 seconds a lap quicker than you, what are you going to do? You can't really hold him back that hard. So, so that fight for P2 is still very much on, and Paul has pulled up nearly a half second back to our friend Zach Ehrlich leading the race here in that last lap.
Yeah, one lap ago, the gap was over 1 second, and now it's under a half a second.
So maybe a
Bartholomew's
mistake from
making a
Zach.
run here. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we keep praising Zach, and I think all we're doing is just cursing him more and more every time we say something. Just driving
Well,
the
that is our
chances of winning
job.
this race into the ground. But I
That's our
have
job here in the commentator's box.
absolutely. I do have the expectation that I think even if he does get to his bumper, Zach will do quite a good job defending. He showed that in his first race at Watkins Glen and as well at VIR. He's done a very good job leading races. So, but he's there. 3/10. That's going to be close enough to be on his bumper on the way into one. Yeah, it was a bit of a mistake there from Zach. It looks like at a 37.8. He looks to defend. Nope, he's all clear on the way in. Yeah, this is
The
close
race
racing.
race. Yeah, it's gotten a lot closer here as we go to the. We'll be looking at white flag next time by, and the Dunkin' Donuts machine looking strong with about a lap and a half to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And Trent Walko is hunting them down. Obviously, he hasn't had the opportunity to be fighting up front after whatever happened on the first lap there, but he's closed whatever that 10-second gap to around 7 seconds here, and he was 4/10 quicker at last lap. So we'll see him keep chugging away at everyone up front. This is going to be close. This is going to be super close coming to the final lap. I mean, if Paul can hook up the end of this lap, he'll be right on his bumper coming down the front straight like we've seen before. It does look like Matt is starting to get antsy, though. And in all honesty, Matt has been very courteous here to Paul, right? It's important as that car in third to let the two cars ahead fight. You never know if they're going to have a wreck or sort of give you the race win. But when we're coming down to the final laps here, it's about time. You got to get to work.
Yeah, no doubt Fosnock looks restless back there and wants to try to make a move, but he doesn't quite have. Look at that. Big off there. 4 wheels off by Fosnock. Really pressing now. White flag lap coming up.
That's
I
super
think these drivers are
unfortunate.
going to take the. Yeah.
It's super unfortunate dropping those tires there. That's going to be what breaks the toe and makes it so hard for him to get up to the back of the car ahead. He was right on the back of him, and that gap went up to 5/10. Paul looking to the inside here late on the brakes. Zach shuts the door, slams the door shut.
So close, though. Paul almost has the nose inside of him, and Zach now looking good up into turn 3. This is the final lap of this race.
That was very impressive by Zach. Very heads-up driving, being able to close the door where he needed to. This will be the next place where the door will be open for an overtake, but I'd figure if he makes it through here clean and doesn't drop a tire going up the hill, he'll be fine all the way to the line. And he looks, but he's not close enough. See, the issue is going into there, it's a very short brake zone, and often you're braking while turning on the way in. It makes it really hard to dive to the inside because your window closes really rapidly as you get up to the corner.
Right, it's tough to get any forward bite there.
Absolutely, and really clean there for Zach. I mean, it's going to be hard if he gets up to his bumper. Whatever this move is going to be, it's going to be very desperate on the way into the corkscrew. He thinks better of it, and I commend him for that. I mean, finishing second is better than not finishing at all. And we're going to come down to the wire here. It's going to be super impressive if Paul can get the move done before the final corner.
Yeah, I just don't think he's going to have enough. I tell you, I can't say enough. We've been talking about Zach Ehrlich this whole time. You know, a graduate of the Monticello teen camps. That kid is driving with such poise under pressure, with getting all the pressure. You know, he is the points leader and still getting it done as he crosses the line in P1.
And we love to see that, finishing just 0.33 ahead of the car behind, and their fastest laps are within 100th. It was great racing, super clean. You see both cars kept their nose for the most part pretty clean. Oh boy, here's a race. Manny Tartaglione, Frank McLennan. The nice over-under, that was super solid. Will he get to the line first? Will he get to the line first? A little bit of Euro swerving, a little bit of contact. Did he get the job done? He did.
Yeah.
He did. Position saved.
That was
well
awesome.
defended. Super good. A little bit of weaving there. A little bit of cheeky weaving there from Nick coming up to the line. Big jump
And
for Ben Albano.
Albano gets the punt. But hey, great driving by Tartaglione there. Manny looking good on the last few turns.
Absolutely. And, you know, to withstand that pressure with Nick kind of giving you what we call the Euro swerve, where you kind of swerve and give him a wheel, and to keep your hands straight and to not really let that upset you is really good. Really solid from his end, especially coming from an instructor who's kind of has all the pressure behind him. So
Great race.
Absolutely.
Great
I
race.
love that livery. Justin Firmino, absolutely love that livery. A huge fan of the Manti Racing Porsches. Actually, they just both won the Bathurst 24. Both cars won in Pro-Am as well as in Pro. Very impressive feat. Also coming off of, I think they had 3 pit lane speeding penalties, or not pit lane speeding penalties, but they had 3 stop and go penalties throughout the race. So to come back and win after that was pretty impressive. So we can take a look back at the grid there just to recount who finished where. Potentially. Zach Ehrlich
Yes.
coming ahead with the win, followed by Paul Barthelmes just 3 tenths behind. And honestly, that gap was like that the whole event, which was awesome to see. Matthew Fassanat in P3, 1.5 seconds behind, just due to a little issue on that final lap, wasn't able to close the gap. 7.9 seconds back with the fastest lap of a 37.0, Trent Walko, followed by Dylan Murcott and Brian Hidian. Then Manny Tartaglione in P7, as we saw that really tight fight to the line behind Nick Leone.
Yeah.
Wow, just 2 thousandths between the two of them. Super impressive at the line. That'll be a photo finish. Followed by Frank McLennan, then Ben Albano, Michael Ryan Johnson, Jack Klepchik, Lynn Wilson, Justin Firmino, Vincent Sperano, Ian Barthelmes, Nick Monos, and then finishing it up, Paul Levine.
Great race. We've got another feature coming up.
And we're going to head over to a little commercial as we wait through this warm-up, and we'll see you guys when the next race comes to green. So, welcome back, everyone. We have our second race coming up here, which will be set by the grid from race one, or at least race one finishing positions. But we will have our instructors starting from pit lane, so you won't see them probably until about halfway through the race as they start to fight their way through the back of the field.
I don't know, Josh. Trent Walco might have something to say about that. He says halfway. I mean, Trent expects to be in play by lap 3.
I mean, look, I wouldn't put it past him based on his pace. He was so unbelievably quick at the end there. So, on our grid, we have Zach Ehrlich sharing the front row with Paul Barthelms, just as we saw in the last event. He'll be hoping not to get a slowdown penalty on lap 1 again and maybe be able to check out. Matthew Fossinaut, followed by Trent Walco, but not actually Trent Walco because he won't be up there. Neither will Dylan nor Brian. Then Manny Tartaglione, followed by not Nick Leone, followed by Frank McLennan. And then
And not Ben Albano.
not Ben Albano, Jack Klepchik, or Michael Ryan Johnson. If we skip to the next page, we will see after that we'll have
Frank McKinney.
yeah, Frank McLennan, Lynn Wilson, Justin Firmino, Vincent Sperano, Ian Barthelms, Nick Monos, Paul Levine, Chris Peterson, and Jason Cohen leading up the back of the field here. Seems like he may have had a little bit of a bad day in race one.
Yeah, not Jason Cohen's best performance. Also, not Nick Monos' best performance either. I tell you, had higher hopes for the kid out of the Jersey Shore. And Nick Monos looking to have a better performance here in race number 2.
I mean, he was absolutely chugging away at it in the GT4 car last event, but he was in the BMW, which I thought actually was quite a hindrance with that only having the old car still in the game.
Well, Nick is kind of a BMW specialist. He clearly is much better in the Bavarian hardware than these MX-5 Cup cars, but I still have high hopes that Monos will be able to improve his position from where he is starting race 2.
Absolutely. Absolutely believe that as well.
Outside, there's Justin Firmino and Vinny Sperano. Big thanks to all these members for coming out and making time to race in this Esport League. We really appreciate the participation. We hope to see more drivers racing on race number 4 coming up on March 6th. As we come around now looking to take the green flag here, the Chevy Silverado pace truck will be out of the way here soon. And Zach Ehrlich looks to take the green flag for race number 2 as they head down through the corkscrew.
Wow, look at that pace truck moving. I didn't know a Silverado could drive that fast, if I'm totally honest.
Not a hint of body roll in that thing.
Not even the slightest bit. And the pace car pulls off. We are getting packed up and paired up here.
Yep, instructor starting from pit lane as all these members getting ready to take the green.
Packed up and paired up, and it looks like a big gap there. Not sure what's going on. Justin Firmino with that big gap between him and Paul Barthelms ahead. Should be able to get up to the bumper, but either way. And Zach gets a huge jump this time. Much better than previous race. That's awesome. 2-3 cars back. He'll be clear into turn 1, no problem. And it looks like Paul is getting hunted down by Mr. Matt, who did wait around for quite a while last race.
Yeah, but Dunkin' Donuts looks good through turn 1. Surprisingly, I thought Fosnock had a run there and was going to get his nose inside, but not quite, as Paul Barthelms gets it done and stays in second place. Excellent job out of the Dunkin' Donuts car there.
Yeah, I do think Fosnock may have been a little bit nice there. He was quite early on the brakes on the way into 1, but it is easy to sort of underestimate how slippery the car can be on cold tires. Why don't we jump back here down to Manny Tartaglione as we see this whole pack fighting for the lead, or for all these different positions coming off of the start of the first lap.
I'm blown away by Zach Ehrlich, man. 1.1 seconds. Not even one lap in. He's already pulled a second. Oh!
Ooh, car off. Who's that? Ian Barthelms backwards, sliding down the field. Unfortunate.
Yep.
It's easy to do there. I mean, you get the whole thing loaded up, you go through the big bounce compression, and the car bottoms on the ground, and the second you drop a tire, if you have tons of wheel in it, you'll spin up that outside wheel, and you'll spin it right down towards the inside barrier.
Yeah, it's easy to underestimate how loose the surface is off this track here, but it is all just sand and really zero traction out there. It's so easy to get a wheel going too fast if you drop it.
Absolutely. And remember, we are not at the brand new repaved Laguna Seca. This is still the old Laguna Seca that has not been updated in this
That's
service.
exactly right.
So it is still super slippery. And we see a 141.2 outlap there from Zach. Nearly 2 seconds quicker than the car behind. Side by side here, fighting for P5. Book it. Job done.
Frank McClendon gets through, man, and makes the pass on Manny.
No worries. And that 1.2 second gap is chilling. I mean, it's not coming down even the slightest bit. Brian here seems to be leading the way for our instructors at the back, with Dylan just behind him on his bumper. Nope, just kidding. It's Trent leading, but it looks like there might be a bit of an issue here with timing, because it says Trent is a lap down. That's quite odd. Either way, Trent leading the field there. We'll just say that Trent's leading because he's physically on track ahead of these guys. You know, he has the pace. I think Brian can be just as quick as him on his day, but Trent right now I think is on a mission just based off of what happened in race 1.
Yeah, the Bucky's car looking strong in the early going here. Checking time and scoring right now. I'm trying to see where we're at.
No, Trent's definitely a lap down. I don't know if something happened in pit lane or maybe he got going late, but he is most certainly 1 lap down from the field. Zach Ehrlich still continues to pull away. That gap is growing, and it's growing fast. 2.4 seconds back. And a big off for Matthew Fastenat. That was
These
all
guys
of the
are
track.
digging.
They're digging, that's for sure. And honestly, I'd be digging too if I was watching Zach disappear into the sunset like that. I mean, it was a very close race in race 1, but I don't think Zach wants to hang around for anyone. 37-0. That's faster than his fastest lap last race.
Yeah.
First time by.
I mean, Zach is not taking any chances in the early going here. I think he had all of that Dunkin' Donuts car he could stand in race 1, and now he is setting sail, putting on a clinic for the rest of this field. And there's a big off by the Dunkin' Donuts car, really pushing hard, and that is not going to help his cause.
You know, that is the funny thing about this circuit too, with all of the off track being just sand. You can almost get off, keep your hands straight, and you don't lose any time.
Yeah.
It's quite silly. And look, 37.098, that will just about match Trent's best lap from race 1, which is outrageously impressive. I mean, he's just putting the laps together, and we're going to see him check out. I have no doubt. I mean, he's gone already.
Yeah.
1.3 seconds quicker.
7 seconds now.
Yeah.
He's 2.7 on the Duncan car now in second place.
Yeah. I mean, he can just about wipe his hands and say, I'm out of here. So that's pretty dang impressive. We can take a look back to Manny Tartaglione. We still have a close battle here for P5. Justin Firmino just behind, and Frank McClendon just ahead. We saw that overtake earlier in the race. We'll have a look back to Jack Klepchik as well, fighting with Ben Albano. 3 cars were side by side on the way into the...
Albano goes wide, and Klepchik holds him off in the corkscrew.
Yeah, I mean, look how beautiful that Monticello Motor Club liveried MX-5 Cup car looks. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I wonder who made that livery.
I don't know, very
oh, and he gets spun.
Oh, he can't hang on to it. Klepchik goes
them.
around.
Oh, geez, Jack has had
no,
zero luck in this series so far. Zero luck at all. It's been so unfortunate for him. And to be honest, you know, I don't think he was at fault there. Can we get a replay of that, if there's any chance?
Yeah, I don't think.
No need for a replay. I mean, I don't think he was at fault there. I think he just got tagged. Look, it's really easy. You get a little bit too quick on the way in there. You tap the back of the car ahead, and it's enough to get the car to go around. Doesn't take much. Fastest lap on track last time by Brian Hidian with 36.9.
Wow. And is that Hedian coming out of the sand, though? I'm not sure. No, there's Hedian right there.
Hedian just behind Trent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite impressive. And his pace in the MX-5 Cup car has been very, very strong throughout all these events. He was somewhat unlucky at Watkins Glen, but look, anytime I open up my sim and I check what my friends are doing, I can absolutely guarantee 2 things. Brian Hedian is driving an MX-5 Cup car in the official series, and Dylan Murcott is driving a NASCAR in circles somewhere.
Absolutely. It's as sure as death and taxes, right?
Exactly.
Murcott loves the circle track cars. There's no doubt about it.
Yep, and Brian loves his MX-5 Cup cars. It's
He
absolutely true. And I
does.
mean, obviously, he's got his livery from his S2000, his real life S2000 on that car. It has the Monticello Motor Club logo on there somewhere. We just can't see it from too zoomed out. Very beautiful. Love the gray and lime-ish green. Big fan of that car.
I think
And
the green wheels are worth 2/10 a lap. There's no doubt about it.
absolutely, Trent Walko setting the fastest lap, and Brian snatching it from him right there. 300ths difference between the two of them, and they are both nearly half a second a lap quicker than the leader at the moment, who is still chugging away. Zach Ehrlich, 4.3 seconds clear of Paul Barthelmes. I mean,
It is unbelievable the gap that Zach Ehrlich has been able to pull on Paul here in race 2 after the battle we saw in race number 1. What do you attribute that to, Josh? What do you think Zach Ehrlich is doing different that he couldn't get done in race 1 to gap him like that?
I'm not particularly sure. I think, honestly, the toe does a lot in these cars, as well as just having the ability to follow another car. I think when Zach sort of was on the back foot with that slowdown and then he got to the lead, he may not have been as comfortable or sort of feel as confident pushing as hard as he is right this second. As well, it does seem like track conditions may have come to these cars a bit, because the 36.7 was not a lap time we saw in race 1.
No, not even close.
Absolutely. So I believe that some of it's down to just the confidence, and some of it's down to the fact that he's not battling in a pack. It can be hard to break away, and obviously we saw Paul and Matt, or Barthelmes and Fossenot both setting lap times that were well into the low 37s last event. And despite the track being quicker, neither of them have broken through the 38s just yet. As I say that, Barthelmes 37.8, Fossenot 37.7. So
Yeah.
I will shut my mouth.
It's kind of like the opposite of a commentator's curse right there.
Yeah,
Manny
absolutely.
Tartaglione having a good race here up in P4, looking really good. Lynn Wilson also bouncing back after a disappointing race number 1. These guys are really looking good here in the early going of race number 2.
Absolutely, and we see this whole pack really quite close still, 4th through 8th, all within a couple seconds, and I'm just realizing P8 is in fact Trent Walko at a 36.6 last lap. So it's about to get interesting.
Yeah, Bucky's machine is going to start picking off members here just like that.
Job
And he's
done.
around Frank McClanahan right there into P7.
Makes it look easy, but I'm going to be honest with you, no matter how quick that Bucky's car is looking, it is not catching Zach Ehrlich. I mean, at this point, he could be a second a lap quicker, and he still wouldn't get to his bumper by the end of the race.
As we come
And
up on the halfway point here, we're about to be working lap number 7, halfway in, 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go as Trent Walko takes a look at Firmino's rear bumper now.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I expect him to get to the field real quick. Like, again, if I was Firmino, if I was Lynn, if I was Tartaglione, I would be sort of comfortable with letting Trent go. Look, he doesn't count for the members' championship points, and he's so much quicker. Who knows? He could tow him to the next result. And to the bumper of Firmino, no problem. He is going to have a move down into turn 1 unless Firmino goes defensive, which I don't honestly expect him to do. And I'm right. He keeps it to the right-hand side, down to the bottom, late on the brakes, into the sky for us. And book it. Job done. No problem.
Yep. Firmino doing the right thing there. As you said, Trent Walko not racing in for points. There is just no value at all for Firmino to get his elbows out there, as Lynn Wilson is up next for the Bucky's machine.
Absolutely. And he disappears there for a moment. Just, the stealth tactics. You wouldn't want to show your hand. Gets down right back into the toe, and I'm sure he'll jump out here. He'll have the job done. Late on the brakes, down to the bottom. Job done, no problem. I mean, he's making it look easy.
He really is. Really is. Monticello instructor Trent Walko putting on a clinic out there for some of the members in the Esports Sim Racing League for Monticello Motor Club. We're 9 minutes to go in race number 2. Excellent camera work here by our producers, the camera crew. Been working hard all day to make sure. Look at that pass in the corkscrew.
Yeah, tire. He's
Look
spun
at that.
into the outside wall. Oh, so
Trent
unfortunate for
Walko
Manny having such a good event.
that is so unfortunate. Trent Walko just continues to just
Tear through the field.
he's putting on a show out there right now.
Putting Manny into the wall out of just pure intimidation and
I
nothing
mean,
else.
he just broke Manny's ankles without even touching him. You know what I mean? Oh my
Exactly.
gosh, he's
Yeah,
destroying people
Trent.
out there.
Trent's making me jealous. I wish I was out there fighting with you guys. Absolutely. Trent, Brian here, 3 wide on the way into turn 1. He'll clear them both. No worries. Job done. Late on the brakes. Contact.
Oh,
Around goes Lynn Wilson. Saves it.
McLennan.
Frank McLennan
That's Frank
saves
McLennan
it.
going around,
That
and he
was
does
beautiful.
save it and is right back on track. Maybe not even going to lose a position, really.
That was
He's right there behind Lynn Wilson now.
very, very impressive saving it with the pit lane. I am extremely impressed with that. That was awesome. All right, so now that things are starting to settle down a bit, Derek, let's make a little bet here. How far up is Trent getting? Is he closing that gap to the Fossanaut and Barthelmes?
I
Well,
don't know. I don't think.
he's not. I mean, I don't see him getting to the lead. Like, there's no question about that. Zach is checked out, and his lap times are good enough that he's only a couple tenths a lap quicker. But Fossanaut really just in front of him here. 7 tenths. I mean,
Yeah,
he's going to get
Fosnack's
that
in
position.
play.
That's for
There's
sure.
no doubt Fosnack's in play.
But Paul Barthelmes, just over 7 seconds. I don't know. Or 5 seconds. Sorry about that. 5 seconds. We'll see. I think
Yeah.
it could be doable, absolutely. I mean, Trent is very, very rapid, and he's able to put the lap times in very consistently. With Paul's best lap of a 37.6, and Trent doing, high 36s every lap pretty consistently, you never know. He could get there. Brian here dropping down the
I'm gonna give
field.
it Fosnack. Yeah, I know. I just saw him. He just spun. I think there was contact back there.
That's unfortunate. Trent to the bottom. Fossanaut not really fighting him too hard. Job done. No problem. Will he make the second apex? He absolutely will. I don't know why I ever questioned him. No worries.
You won't get this, but I tell you, I don't think Trent's got enough time to get to the Dunkin' Donuts car in second place.
You think? I don't know. 36.5 last time by. That's 1.1 seconds quicker than Paul's best lap the entire race. And Mr. Barthelmes is not running his best lap the whole event. So we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting. Obviously, this doesn't affect their points, but it's just interesting to see the pace difference of a pro.
Let's check on that replay and see what happened to the BHR car a little bit back in the field there. Hedian was having a great race. He tries to make a pass here. Oh,
Ooh.
no, I see. Oh, there's your Manti Racing livery.
That's for sure. It's unfortunate. It's a
That's-
really hard spot to make a pass. We were talking about that earlier. Such a short brake zone, and you're turning while braking the whole way through there. It's very, very tough to get the move done. Why don't we skip back here to Frank McLennan in a tight battle with Lynn Wilson here? Just 2 or 3 tenths between them. Coming down the corkscrew, Frank on Lynn's bumper. Obviously, we had that incident on the way into turn 1 a couple laps prior, so he'll be hunting to make those positions back up.
Yeah, Frank had such a great save, collecting himself up through pit lane, and now he's right back in the fight with Wilson here. It's really some good driving. There's Jason Cohen as well, headed into that turn.
Absolutely, and I am gutted for Brian. I mean, he's done such a good job this event. He had a fastest lap for the majority of the race there just before Trent got that toe off of Fossanaut, so we really expected him to get up to the front. Here we go, using this other car as a pick, this lap car as a pick. Very well done by Lynn Wilson.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good move to the outside there, but Frank McLennan follows him through and doesn't quite make that second apex, but he does make that pass stick over Jason Cohen and maintains contact with Lynn Wilson's car. Oh, big curb hop there for Lynn Wilson. Frank McLennan putting a little pressure on that number. What is that number? What's this car number?
Big curb hops for the both of them. Honestly, it's quite funny. You can take
83.
quite a lot of curbs. Lynn going defensive here on the way into here. This will really hurt him the whole way up the hill. Does he go wide? Makes the apex, it seems. Big run there. Nearly contact. Very close racing.
Yeah, but that defensive angle really helped Frank McLennan on the exit there, and McLennan makes the pass and makes it stick clean.
That was very impressive. McLennan doing such a good job to get the exit there off of that corner. It's so hard to go through there on the bottom and not lose tons of time going up the hill, right? That entire straight, even though it may not look like it from the cameras, is very, very steep uphill.
Yeah, and it takes a ton of patience waiting on that exit. Frank did a great job there.
For sure, absolutely. And you see him using all the track, getting all the way back over to the left and turning into the second to last corner. Doing a great job. I mean, look, he just chugged away. That gap is extended up to over a second already. Extremely impressive. Zach, I mean, just chugging away. Nearly 10 seconds the gap now back to Barthelmes. I mean, it's a clinic.
Yeah, the points leader showing you why he's been on the top step of the podium all the way through this season. Zach Ehrlich really just getting it done out there.
Yeah,
Really
you see him.
clean, really repeatable. 3 minutes to go.
Just, I mean, every inch of the track there, even though he's getting some off tracks, who cares? That's whatever, you know? Off tracks are off tracks. You can get 40 of them before you get a penalty, so use them all, basically. Lap time's lap time. Trent still closing that gap down to Barthelmes, down to 1.9 seconds as he drops a tire there. I mean, this is going to be close.
It is going to be close, right? I expect Walco to get to him, but getting around the Duncan car is going to be a little bit tougher.
Well, but see, then we play into the game of the points, right? Because the Duncan car is going to be it's going to have it on the top of his mind that if the Bucky's car goes by, he's not losing any points, right? He's still finishing
Doesn't
second.
hurt
He's
him.
still getting 18 points. Doesn't hurt him at all. And the Bucky's car's getting after it, jumping the curb, firing it off. I mean, he's hunting for second place right now. He's hungry for it, absolutely. Sliding around it.
You're
I
right.
mean,
There's no
Zach's
honor in fighting there for Bartholomew's.
no, absolutely. And honestly, Zach's consistency has been extremely impressive. He's run anywhere from a 37.4 to a 37.6 basically every lap of this race. And despite Barthelme's best lap being a 37.6, he's just repeating it over and over again. He just keeps putting those laps in. And that's really what you need to do to win a race. Sometimes it's not about being the fastest car on track. It's just about doing laps that are repeatable and fast. So we see here, we're going to probably be white flag next time by. Trent hunting him down.
Yeah, I think you're
36.7
right.
last lap.
I tell you, I like this Duncan car to maintain this position. Although there's no reason for the Dunkin' Donuts car to race him. Uh, I don't know. I just feel like Paul Bartholomew's wants to stay in front of Trent.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. We're all race car drivers. Every one of these people are race
Absolutely.
car drivers in this field, and we're all
Absolutely.
competitive. You're not joining this unless you want to go win races, and I think Barthelmes is going to want to fight him. Whether or not he has to, he's
Yeah.
going to. And look, he has,
Listen,
what, 6.5 seconds back to the next car. If he spins, he can probably rejoin and be fine.
his favorite driver is Checo Perez, right? The Minister of Defense. I expect to see some defensive driving here out of this Dunkin' Donuts car in the waning minute. There's just so little time left. Trent's really going to have to work hard even to get a look inside of this Dunkin' Donuts car.
Yeah,
One lap in.
honestly, he has stepped up the pace, I'm going to be honest with you. Barthelme's doing a 37.7 that lap. Trent, again, a 36.8, consistently running those high 36s, which is kind of outrageous and somewhat scary.
Let's see what Paul has learned from his Monticello instructors about race defense.
Oh, I know it's a whole bunch, and I also know though that Trent is no slouch, and he's going to be
Trent is on
quite
fire right
mean.
now.
Yeah, you see him jumping over the curbs. Why don't we have a jump back to P5 here, as we see Frank McLennan, Dylan Murcott, Lynn Wilson, and Brian Hedian all fighting over that 5th position. Brian looking to the bottom. Oof, that would have been a tight move. That would have been very last minute.
Oof. You know, I'm surprised Frank McLennan having a really good drive here with Dylan Murcott up in his mirrors, but Murcott not able to make the pass. Really impressive race out of Frank McLennan. He's not going to get the podium finish that he wanted, but I tell you, he's had a lot of headwinds, a lot of obstacles, and has really driven a great race here this evening.
Absolutely. Trent Walco getting up to P2 before the line, getting that job done down the bus stop. Paul looking for the move back, but he just can't get it done. I mean, we'll see here into the final corner, but no, it looks like, yeah, Trent's got the job done. Let's jump back here to P6 because these guys are still all right together. Brian going for the move. Job done. Look at that. I mean, Brian, a lot of setbacks this weekend, and honestly, a lot of setbacks so far through this entire race series. He's been really struggling with a lot of luck stuff to the outside. Tries to get the job
Pinches
done
the
around the
nose of
outside.
Murcott. He
Oh,
goes
drops the
wide. That's
tire.
going to cost him. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
and Frank McLennan
He
gets
had
the
given it
position
all
back.
he had.
Wow. Really good stuff. I mean, look, we saw both Brian backwards as well as Frank backwards, and Frank did such a good job to get back up to the front. I mean, P4 there after the huge spin and saving himself in pit lane. It's very commendable.
And, that was a good finish by Hedian as well. I mean, he had a lot of headwinds, spun there with that contact with Firmino, and comes back to finish really strong and racy at the end.
And the second fastest lap at 36.7 earlier in the race. I mean,
Yep.
it's not something to laugh about, that's for sure. Yeah, so why don't we go back and have a look at Trent Walko and Paul Barthelme's battle here, right as we came to the final lap. That was a very notable one. We'll see if we can get the replay of that just to have a look. Coming down. Ooh, exit of the corkscrew. He dives to the bottom. See, that's a very good move to make, right? You get the crossover. Obviously, as you come out of the corkscrew, you come out on the left, and then you have to transition back to the right. And as you do that transition, if the car behind keeps the hands straight, they can just get right up to the door. And that's often enough with how cambered that corner is.
I think it might have caught Paul by surprise a little bit. How clean that was and quick the attack was. I think
Yeah.
Paul didn't really see that coming.
Absolutely, and honestly, often people leave the door open there, and I don't think that's the sort of move that Trent would have made. You see him blowing up his engine as he come past start finish. It's not the sort of move that Trent would have made any other lap. It's quite aggressive and obviously can have quite bad implications because there's very little brake on the way into there, and you're really relying that the other person works really hard to open up the corner and then gives you the apex as you come down into the corner.
Right.
So
Exactly.
why don't we take a look back at that pass for P5 at the end of the race there, as that all got very spicy. As we came into the final corner, coming up into the corkscrew, not the final corner, going up the hill. I mean, it's always hard to make a pass on the way in the corkscrew. Wow, what a job by Frank there on the brakes. Nearly loses it on power, and Brian just sneaks by there on the left. I mean, he had the huge run, and he gets up to the back of Dylan. That pink car, very pink. I'm a big pink fan, I must be honest. So both Dylan and Hedian firing it off. I mean, followed by Frank. I mean, who doesn't? Everyone uses all the track there. Big breakstone. He gets right to the outside, and I don't know, Derek. I don't know about you, but I probably would have gotten the car stopped up and tried to over under him to try and get that exit.
I think it would have been a better move for Hedian at that point. I really do. I mean, Hedian, I think he just got a little red mist there, man. He was really charging, and probably not technically the best move. I think the over under would have been better, but still, good stuff out of Hedian, though, man. That was a pretty good comeback for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to pull our friend Paul Barthelme's up here, P3 finisher in this event.
Two great races finished. Hey, Paul, great racing tonight, man. You really looked good out there.
Yeah.
Dicing it up with Zach Ehrlich in race number 1, and then just having a great run in race number 2 as well. What did you think about your performance tonight in the Dunkin' Donuts car?
So the Dunkin' Donuts car, yeah. So race one was really fun. The only reason I was able to stay with her, I knew he was faster than me, so I hung in his drafts the whole time, a lot of it, and I got an overtake here or there where I could. But like when I lost the draft on the start of race two, started over driving a little bit, and I kind of went into the dirt a little bit here and there, just one or two tires, and I was like, okay, I just calm down. I'm not gonna catch him, so I kind of just did a conservative drive in the last race. That's like the hardest time for me is like when you're in no man's land. Really, it's like, I mean, I think that's for most people.
No, absolutely. It's super tough mentally to deal with it too, because obviously you want to hunt down the guy in first, but you still have positions to save with the cars behind. I thought it was a really, really good drive in race one. Made a lot of really smart overtakes, and were really smart with the way you placed your car to try and keep Zach in fighting's distance.
Yeah, I could put a lot of pressure on him, I feel, in the first corner, and that's why I gained most of the time, and then he would kind of pull away middle, and then I'd gain more back on the straight. Yeah, it's kind of how that first race went. And I thought I could get him. I swear, if I had one more lap, I could have gotten him, but isn't that what everybody said?
Yeah, always one more lap, 100%. But hey, we're all race car drivers. We're all thinking that way for
Yeah.
sure. What did you think about the second race there? I mean, I know Matt was kind of on your tail there at the start, but you seemed to pull away from him no problem.
Yeah, so I really wanted to catch Ehrlich, and I could tell based on the first race that I was a little bit faster than Matt behind. So if without the draft, without his getting the draft, I could make some headway ahead. And then when I was like 5 or 6 seconds ahead of him, that's when I started doing 38s just to be conservative and just to finish in P2 because I knew I couldn't catch early. And then all of a sudden Trent came along and he was just like 1 second a lap on me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Bucky's car was hauling, and there's no putting that down. I mean, the Bucky's car was getting after it for sure. What'd you think of his move on you? Kind of sprung it on you there.
Yeah, no, I knew that he wanted it on the last lap, and I wasn't gonna not get P2, so I was like, okay, he's gonna do some kind of crazy overtake. And to be fair, he did an overtake in a really awesome spot, so I give him mad props to Trent.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
It's a
thought he
weird
caught
spot.
you by surprise. And Paul, just so you know, we were taking bets in the announcer's booth on whether or not Trent would be able to get you. And I had my money on you, man. I really thought.
I'm
I thought
sorry,
you had the
disappointed.
stuff.
I just know that he doesn't count in the standing, so I was just
I
like, he
know
can have it.
you made the smart move. You made the right decision. You're exactly right. You weren't racing him for points. There was no reason to race him, and I was just excited to see you out there dicing it up with the instructors.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Unfortunately, only Trent was able to get up to the front. I don't know what was happening in the back. Maybe it was all crazy. Not entirely sure, but it's a shame that only Trent was able to reach the front.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
thanks for coming out and racing with us tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, cool. Now we'll pull Trent Waco in, second place finisher here. Trent, welcome in.
Here.
Welcome into the commentator's booth. You are live.
Lovely.
How was that event for you? I mean, the pace was outrageous. A 36.5 is your best lap. I'm sure you did something with an off track that was faster than that. You were hauling.
Yeah, we were pretty good. The first race was definitely more eventful. Second one did a much better job keeping the nose clean and just slowly working through. But yeah, shout out to Spectrum for Brian and I having a more eventful first couple laps of race one than we would have liked. I think there were a few incidents I had where I might not have existed to the people on the other side of the internet.
We did notice you not existing a couple times there for sure.
Yeah, it was exciting, but worked out well in the end. Yeah, had fun. Overall clean racing, and that was a nice little pass to get up to P2 at the end. I enjoyed that one.
Absolutely,
Great
that was a really
position,
good
great
overtake.
timing. Yeah, it was awesome.
For sure. So what do you think set you apart pace-wise compared to everyone else?
I don't know. I mean, been on iRacing for a long time, and Laguna was one of the first tracks on it. So even though I, have never driven there in real life, it's one of those tracks that anytime I go there, I just feel pretty comfortable right off the bat. So this car's a bit of a handful once the tires get, a little older and you're catching it a lot, but really easy to dip some tires on the exits and get 1Xs. I think we saw some people struggling with that in qualifying where it took a while to get laps in, but it's just finding that rhythm and trying to hold on for 20 minutes that we've got here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and despite the conditions being so cold, it is so hard with these cars. The second the tire temp goes up, it starts to get, well, as Trent, you've put it in other events, it's like you're crashing the whole lap.
Indeed.
Well, thank you for your time, Trent, and we appreciate you joining the race, and it was great fun watching you punch above your weight there.
All right. See you next time, guys.
Trent with his trademark, just. Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Brian? How's it
Medium.
going?
Not much, not much. Pretty
Good
well.
finish in race two. Good finish for you in race two, man. You had a lot of obstacles, a lot of, you got in a little trouble there with Firmino, but you really closed and finished out strong there on the last lap.
Yeah, it was honestly, it's. I have to go back and look at the replay, but it was probably an optimistic move on my end. I knew I needed, I know I needed to get by him quickly, so that because Trent was kind of driving away. So for me, I saw an opportunity that was pretty small. As big as opened up, it closed right away. But I apologize to him for that. And yeah, in the end of the race, it was also a nice little battle with Dylan. He parked it pretty good at the apex. I probably could have done an over under, but I was already committed on the outside, and I think if I would have just got a little bit later to power, I might have been able to make that stick. But oh well, hindsight
Yeah,
2020, right?
100%. Hindsight's always 2020, but I got to say I was pretty impressed. We got our move here on Firmino in the background there, which you won't be able to see because you can't see the stream. But it was unfortunate. It's hard to get a move done on the way into there. It's such a short break zone, and you're turning while braking, so it's always hard to get far enough alongside to not have an incident.
Exactly.
But I have to say, I commend you that final lap, that move around the outside, despite maybe not getting it done. First of all, for it to be around the outside of Dylan Murcott. Second of all, to be so deep on the brakes and still get to the apex was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I knew he was gonna make it very, very difficult for me. But yeah, I was pushing on that last lap, and sometimes traffic works in your favor, and other times it doesn't. So it was just a race about dodging traffic and being smart and seeing what decisions to make and what not to. But hey, it was fun at the end of the day, and I hope everybody who participated had a great time. And looking forward to the next one for sure.
Absolutely. It seems like everyone had a great time and the racing was awesome. One last question, same question I asked Trent. Pace-wise, what do you think set you apart? I mean, you were doing a 36.7 there in that event, which is the second fastest lap time, and you guys were well ahead of the pace of every other car.
On my end personally, having done a full week's worth of a lot of hours here, training for the Racing Prodigy race that was happening last week. So I'd done a bunch of laps, but even prior to, I mean, Mazda. See, I keep calling it Mazda. That's how long I've known this track. It's when it's been Mazda Laguna Seca. So I've driven this on so many different gaming consoles, whether it be a PlayStation or whatever, Forza. So yeah, I know the track kind of well, and it's a very iconic track. So I guess that's what I would say allowed me to have somewhat pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. Trent said almost the exact same thing. I mean, the track's been on the service for so long. He's done so many laps around it and felt right at home. So, wish you best of luck in the Prodigy thing for the rest of the week. And yeah, hope to see you back on next event, which I'm sure we will because you're hosting it.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Derek, thank you so much. Dimitro
Awesome,
on the production, and Josh Green as well on the commentary. Great job, and hope to see you driving, Josh.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, guys. Great job by everybody, all the drivers, production crew, commentating staff. It was just great. It's really fun. We appreciate everybody coming out and watching this and participating, drivers as well, members and instructors. It was just a great time. And we can't wait to see you guys for race number 4 on March 6th, coming up really soon. Josh, we got anything else we need to cover before we head out tonight?
I don't think so. You said when the next race is, and I just want to get everyone hyped up for that.
I know, man. We need more. Will you be driving, Josh? When are we going to get you back in one of these eSport races?
I know. I want to be driving. Unfortunately, out in Colorado just this moment. And I'm not sure about the next one. It depends on when I fly back. I am doing a shootout, a prototype shootout in a P3 car in Barcelona to hopefully get a full season ride out there. But we'll see. I think I'll be back by the right time. It's the 6th, so I should be back.
Getting a full season ride is probably, I don't know, maybe it's a smidge more important than doing the esports racing here for Monticello. But if you get a chance, we'd love to see you back on track in the Sim Challenge for Monticello.
Absolutely. And if I'm not driving, I'll be here in the commentator's box.
You know it, buddy. So for myself and Josh Green and all of the team here at Monticello Esports Sim Challenge, we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed the racing, and we'll see you back on March 6th for round number 4. And if you're tired of watching, join up and race with us in race number 4. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and good night.
Dimitri, don't end the stream because